So I was going through my collection of fragrances and I came across a group of fragrances that I had set aside to do a video on my cheapest fragrances in my collection. So today I'm talking about the cheapest or least expensive fragrances in my collection and what their prices are and if you can get them and where you can get them from. And I thought, you know what, let's do the cheap version, and then next weekend on Saturday I will do the more expensive version and you do a video on my most expensive fragrances. So today, this video, the fragrances are mostly all for men, targeted to men. There are some unisex offerings in here, very few, but most of them are for men, and they are the least expensive fragrances that I have in my collection, and that are fairly easy to get still. So if you want to find out what they are and how much they cost, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yes, the cheapest fragrances in my collection. You know, since I started doing videos on this channel and also in the previous channel that I was doing videos on, my collection has changed. So I used to have less expensive fragrances even than these, but some of them are no longer around. Some of them I felt, and I've gone through them, thought, you know what, they don't smell as good as I once thought they did. So what I've done is given you, or I'm going to give you, the best of the best of the less expensive or the cheapest fragrances out there. There are several fragrances from brands that I have multiple fragrances from the brands, but I'm only featuring one brand because once I tell you about the one brand, then you'll know about that brand. But you know what, there are a couple of exceptions that I have more than one fragrance from a brand, because there are several brands out there that have fragrances that are very, very inexpensive. They have lots of different fragrances, so you can kind of like pick and choose from different styles. So we'll talk about all of that today, and as I said, next Saturday I'm going to do the opposite of this video and give you a video of 20 of my most expensive fragrances in my collection. But before we do all that, if this is your first time tuning into this channel and you still haven't subscribed to this channel, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So let's start right away. We're going to go to a Spanish house called TOUS, and I have two fragrances from this house in this video. This is 1920 The Origin. So this is a 100 ml bottle, and it's currently at the discounters for around $30. Now again, these are prices that I picked up just as I was shooting this video or prior to shooting this video and, you know, putting together my notes. So as I said, 100 ml for $30 approximately. You can get them from Fragrance Net or Fragrance X, most of these fragrances, and I have links in the info box. So when you do the math, it works out to be about 32 cents per milliliter when you buy this for $30 approximately. So TOUS 1920 The Origin is a fragrance that kind of falls in line with Cartier's Declaration, but because this is from a less known house, it's a jewelry house from Spain, and Cartier is of course a more prized jewelry house from France. I feel like they are fragrances available at discounters for even better prices. So if you like Declaration, the spiciness of the cardamom and cumin and things like that, then you definitely will like this one. So there's cumin and cardamom, woody notes and things like that, so it's definitely a woody, spicy fragrance. And again, it's a perfect fragrance to wear in the fall or winter. It has some substance to it. It's definitely spicy, as I said. It's got, you know, unique twist to it with the cumin, so be prepared. If you don't like cumin, maybe you stay away from this one. But if you like spices and you like the smell of cumin, this might be something you should check out. But the cumin is not overly stinky, so just test it out first. If you can get a sample, do, because I highly recommend this one. And that bottle is beautiful. It's nice to have this bottle hanging around. So this next one is from an older French house called CARON. This is Pour un Homme de CARON. Currently at the retailers like Fragrance Net or Fragrance X, which I have a link in the info box, for 29 bucks for 125 ml bottle. So with the math, it's about 24 cents per milliliter. So that's really good price, and especially since this is a 125 milliliter bottle instead of 100 like the previous fragrance, you get more juice and even less price. So this one is known for, first of all, this is a classic fragrance. It's been around since the 30s. I'm sure it's been reformulated throughout the years. And even though this is targeted to men, it says Caron pour un homme. Homme is man. It's very unisex, I think. Women do love this fragrance. And and it's all about lavender, amber, and musk. So it's basically that combination. It's an aromatic, definitely kind of leaning into the fougere direction, but not quite. For me, it's more of a musky, ambery, you know, vanilla kind of lavender. So I feel like the aromatic lavender note works wonderfully with the vanilla. CARON de CARON for 29 bucks for a 125 ml bottle. That's a great price, I think. So this next fragrance, I feel like is unisex targeted, and it's a great freshie to have on in your collection, I think I should say. And currently the size I'm going to show you is not the size I could find online, but on Amazon I did find a 150 ml bottle for 27 bucks. So this is a very fresh and refreshing eau de cologne fragrance, but with a little bit of a substance. It's like kind of in the ballpark of 4711, but with a little more oomph to it, and also with some spices thrown in rather than going into the very soapy direction, because they don't smell alike. There is soapy citrusy quality in here, but I feel like there's just some depth to it in comparison to 4711. So these kind of fragrances I feel like are perfect for those folks that like lighter scents, citrus scents, a little bit spicier citrus scents and things like that. And I feel like it's great just to have around if you're like thinking of something to wear but you can't make up your mind. You can go with something like this, and after a shower you'll smell great and things like that. So this is Alvarez Gomez Aqua de Colonia Concentrada, 150 ml bottle, currently 27 bucks. So that works out to be about 20 cents per milliliter. So this next one is a new addition to my collection. This is a fragrance I wore in the late 80s that I was really into. I had bought it for my dad, but I kept wearing it from my dad. I felt like at that time it was a bit of a mature scent, but I'm obsessed with the smell now, and I feel like even since the late 80s it's reformulated, but it still smells great. This is ZINO Davidoff Eau de Toilette, and currently you can buy a bottle that's a 125 ml bottle like this for 18 bucks online. 16 cents per milliliter. That's a great price. And this, wow, the smell is still great. Although it seems a little bit butchered up, but it's about patchouli and woods and ambers and things like that. So there's some depth to it. Just a great biting kind of a scent with the patchouli and woods and ambers. Really wonderful. If you like patchouli, if you like it woody, if you like it earthy, slight animalic undertones, then you should definitely check this one out. And I feel like for an eau de toilette, concentration wise it's great, so it kind of like lasts a long time because it's got that oomph to it, you know. And I feel like this is perfect for fall and winter. A great scent. And you know, I had forgotten about it, and I think a few of you guys were mentioning to me to you know, pick up a bottle, so eventually I did, and here it is. So this is ZINO Davidoff Eau de Toilette. I'm glad I have it. It's a great scent, even for how many years later, and the fact that it's only 18 bucks for 125 ml, it's a winner. So we're going to the fragrance house of ZARA. It's a designer house, of course, and their fragrance tobacco collection, and rich, warm, and addictive. So 100 ml bottle is approximately 20 bucks, so that works out to be about 22 cents per milliliter. And again, I'm giving you prices that I currently found. I'm sure ZARA will have a discount or something, and you might take a 10 bucks off of this, or 5 bucks, and basically whatever I saw currently, I'm giving it to you. With ZARA, you'd have to order on their website or go to a store and find it there, but currently it's about 20 bucks, 100 ml. And this one I feel like is very unisex, just like this particular fragrance here. So in the end, both men and women can pull this one off, even though it's a male targeted fragrance. So this one is very gooey, warm, and rich, and syrupy, honeyed, coconutty tobacco. It's actually really delicious. It's perfect for fall and winter. It's strong. It's just really delicious. That's the word I was going to say, and I finally said it. Just the concoction, the way it's made, and the blending of the notes, just smells like you want to eat it, because that's how good it is. A lot of people say it kind of reminds them of Herod, maybe distantly, but in the end it's a great very gourmand tobacco fragrance. So that's ZARA's tobacco collection, rich, warm, and addictive. We're going to a classic dating back to the 90s, and this is Havana from the house of Aramis. Currently a 100 ml bottle is 19 bucks online at FragranceNet, I believe, and as I said, I have a link in the info box. 21 cents per milliliter for this one if you buy it for 19 bucks approximately. definitely. So this might be a little mature for some of you guys, but you know what? It's a great tobacco. It's very spicy. It's a dry tobacco. It's leafy, but it's not a burned tobacco. It's not an ashy tobacco, so it's not like smoked tobacco. In the end, you're getting tobacco. You're getting the leaves. You might even get some tobacco blossoms in here. It doesn't smell burned, but it smells of tobacco, and it's actually great scent. I love this smell. It's a classic that I even wore back in the mid-90s. It used to be in a blue bottle. It's a longer bottle, but when Aramis redid all their classic men's fragrances, they put them in bottles like this. Either way, if you like tobacco fragrances, I highly recommend this one, and 19 bucks is great, 21 cents per milliliter. So that's Aramis Havana. Going to the house of LALIQUE. This is one of the houses that I would highly recommend you check out if you like discounted fragrances. Not only do the fragrances smell top-notch, very quality, you get to find really great prices. This is LALIQUE's L'INSOUMIS for a 100 ml bottle. It's 27 bucks, basically 29 cents per milliliter for this one, give or take 29, 28 cents. I did quick math on these. So L'INSOUMIS this way is a modern fougere. There again with the fougere. I love these kind of barbershop-y fragrances, and this one doesn't disappoint. It's very aromatic and spicy, citrusy touches in there as well, and then of course you've got some dry downs of woods and some tonka beans and things like that. In the end, this is I should have done a full review of this one. I didn't really discover it for a while after it was released, but you know, I'm surprised at how great it is. And again, LALIQUE is a great house. Those of you that buy discounted or fragrances that are on the you know, inexpensive side, I highly recommend you look into this particular house because they have great solid releases and very inexpensive. There's a few that I've included from this house here today. If you're curious to learn more, I do have a top 10 men's fragrances from LALIQUE video on the channel. You should definitely go check out. Anyway, this is LALIQUE L'INSOUMIS 100 ml bottle for 27 bucks. Now this next one is from a house called ROCHAS, and I wanted to feature this in here, and I think it's going to be going away soon, like it's probably being discontinued, but I did find this particular fragrance at the discounters for about 18 bucks for a 50 ml, which works out to be about 39 cents per milliliter. This is ROCHAS Eau de Rocha Homme, and this is actually a kind of fragrance that's very lemony, citrusy, tart and sweet at the same time, kind of in the eau sauvage direction. Not sauvage, but eau sauvage, so it has some aromatic notes in there, herbs and perhaps some light vetiver touches, but mostly it's about citruses. So it works great for the summertime or just as an all year round fragrance because it's fresh, it's refreshing, and it's not like something that would you know, tick people off if you're wearing fragrance, let's say at work or something. So in the end, I really like this one. It's just the fact that I think I can't find 100 mLs. Well, I did find 100 mLs online, but they weren't as inexpensive as the 50 mLs. And the 50 mLs were at FragranceNet for about 18 bucks, as I said, for a 50 ml. So that works out to be 39 cents. And if you like citrus fragrances with light aromatic and woody touches, definitely you should try ROCHAS Eau de Rocha Homme. And speaking of LALIQUE, I'm going to feature one of the fragrances from the ENCRE Noir collection. This is à l'extrême, ENCRE Noir à l'extrême. 100 ml bottle works out to be about $32, I think. So in the end, you're looking at about 32 cents per mil, somewhere around there, maybe 30 cents per mil. So it's a great price for this particular fragrance, and the fact that it's one of the best vetivers, I think, in the designer world and in an expensive world. And for me, it reminds me of something like Chanel's Sycamore. So it's just a great fragrance. And now it comes in the original Eau de Toilette, which I like, but I prefer this version, which is a little more depth and something a little more sexy going for it, something a little more classy. There's some resinous touches in here as well that gives it the depth. And then it also comes in the sport version, which is also on the inexpensive side. So 3 different variations of this fragrance. Highly recommend it, especially for the vetiver lover. Now you must love vetiver. I've heard negative things from people saying it smells bad or things like that, but I feel like if you don't like vetiver, you're not going to like this fragrance because it is all about woody, earthy, slightly damp kind of vetiver smell. So be into it and then you'd appreciate it. So that's LALIQUE ENCRE Noir à l'extrême, 100 ml bottle for about 32 bucks. It's a great price. Now another fragrance that I recently picked up. I'm going to be doing a haul video very soon, but I was featuring a lot of the fragrances that I picked up recently in this video. But the fragrance is Jovan Musk for Men. This is a cheapie that dates back to 70s. I think 73 is when it came out. Currently 88 milliliter bottle for 10 bucks, which basically means about 12 cents per milliliter. So this one is just a very sexy, masculine, aromatic, spicy musk. For me, if I compare it to something like Kiehl's Original Musk, it doesn't smell anything alike. But for me, it's a very, very musky, manly kind of a musky kind of fragrance with loads of spices and of course aromatic touches. So it's different, but I feel like this is so popular and very, very, like it's got a lot of history. A lot of men used to wear this. Even my dad wore it, my uncle wore it. So it's fragrances like this that have stayed around since the 70s that I feel like are fragrances that have come after it. Like they're historic kind of fragrances. And the fact that it's only, you know, 10 bucks for a 88 milliliter bottle, which works out to be about 12 cents per milliliter. Fantastic price. Anyway, if you don't know this one, check it out. I mean, if you're a young nose, you might not like something like this, but for 12 cents per mil, I feel it's very, very good. So this next one is from a house that I don't really know much about currently, and I think the designer recently passed away as well. It's Ungaro, and this is Pour l'Homme 3, this one right here, and it's a 100 ml bottle currently for about 20 bucks, which works out to be about 20 cents per milliliter. And for me, this one's a rose. It's a very masculine rose, and it's got like vodka in the notes. I think it's vodka or gin. I can't remember quite which of the spirits it is, but it's one of those clear spirits in here. So it's not necessarily boozy, but it has a very, very clean, ginny. I think maybe it's I was going to say gin or juniper, but it's just a kind of a very beautiful, not necessarily a feminine rose because it is targeted to men, but it is rose in the end. To me, it acts like a rosy Aventus almost, not quite, but you know, somewhere in that kind of aromatic, spicy, floral, woody kind of direction. It's maybe a little tired, but I feel like for 100 ml, 20 bucks, it's a great, great price. And it doesn't disappoint, you know. It's got rose, it's got all these beautiful, spicy, aromatic notes and woods. It smells fantastic. I really like it. It's a very appropriate for an office setting kind of scent, and if you're on a budget for the office, this is something that you might pull out. Anyway, this is Ungaro's L'Homme 3, 100 ml for 20 bucks currently. So this next one is from the house of Bentley. I always feature this one because it's a great cheapie. It's one of the best cheapies ever. Bentley for Men Intense, 100 ml, 30 bucks currently, about 30 cents per mil. And I mean, I've said a lot about this fragrance. It's a very, very boozy concoction, has ambery touches, it has smoky touches, incense and things like that. It's like leathery touches and of course woody touches as well. And patchouli kind of dried down, and I love the dry down in this one. I just keep wanting to smell it because it just dries down very, very sexy. As I said, this is probably one of the best cheapies ever. I can't get enough of this scent. It smells more expensive than what you pay for. So that's Bentley for Men Intense. Check it out. Now this next one is from the house, a very, not a well-known house. It's an Italian accessories house called Mandarina Duck, and this is Mandarina Duck Black. I wish I was showing you the intense or extreme version of this because I really love it. Very, very classy, very, very expensive smelling. But in the end, this version is not bad either. So 100 ml of this one is currently at 21 bucks. So you're looking at about 21 cents per milliliter. So that's a great, great price for a fragrance like this that's full of citruses like orange, mandarin orange, and of course lots of tonka beans and other woody touches. In the end, it's a great classy scent. It does hint at fragrances like Xerjoff's Ouden and things like that. And the combination of the tonka beans with the citruses and a little bit of like a lavendery kind of aromatic touch in there, really, really a great scent. This is definitely perfect fragrance. I don't think it's as good as or as loved by me as I love this one, but I feel like the smell is really, really great for what you get for here for the price, what you pay for the price. So it's 21 bucks for a 100 ml bottle. It's Mandarina Duck Black. And again, I love the extreme version of that. Sadly, I can't find it anywhere. Although I keep seeing it at places and it keeps, you know, being sold out and coming back. So we'll see. Maybe they'll bring it back. I doubt it though. This next one is a classic 90s fragrance from the house of Versace. It's Dreamer. 100 ml bottle currently I saw online at the Fragrance Net. I think it's a tester for 26 bucks. So it's about 26 cents per milliliter. Great price. Once again, we have a fougere fragrance here with tobacco, and the tobacco is the leafy tobacco. It's not a burned or ashy tobacco. And you know, there are different kind of smells and smell profiles. The tobacco leaves, to me, go into a more woody aromatic direction, and of course burned tobacco smells like smoke and things like that, or ash. So that's definitely not what you get here, because it is, after all, a fougere, which basically is like a barbershop-y kind of fragrance. But this is definitely more of a tobacco barbershop kind of a fragrance. Smell-wise, it's still fantastic. I think concentration-wise, it's not as strong as it used to be. It's been reformulated quite a bit, but for today's generation, I feel like it does match other eau de toilette concentration fragrances, because at one point eau de toilettes used to be so hefty and strong, the ones I wore in the 90s and the 80s, but now it's been reformulated enough that it kind of, like, you know, matches the concentration of what they're releasing these days. But in the end, it's a older smell, so you might not be into this kind of scent, but if you like tobacco, check it out. This is Versace's Dreamer, 100 ml, 26 bucks. So this next one is one of my cheapies that I really love, and I think this might have been one of the fragrances that kind of got me used to the whole Mugler Angel Men, Amen kind of a series. This is Animale, and this is 100 ml for 21 bucks, which means about 21 cents per milliliter. So this is such a great scent. I feel like what Animale did was copy Mugler's Angel, the original woman's, and then kind of added some unique notes and released this as for men. I think this came 2 years prior to Amen came out, so it was after Angel, which came out in 92. So this came out around 94, I think, and Amen came out or Angel Men came out in 96. But here I feel like you get something like Amen, boozy things like pure malt, maybe a little bit of coffee, maybe a little bit of fruity tones, but more for me, I feel like it's a little bit of a cross between Amen, pure Havana, and pure malt, more pure malt with Amen kind of a thing. So lots of patchouli, lots of woody notes, and there's some aromatic touches in here, but lots of fruity touches as well. In the end, it's pretty sexy and still smells great, and if I was on a budget, this is a kind of fragrance I would totally wear. This is 100 ml for 21 bucks. It's Animale. So this next fragrance is from a brand that I've already spoken about, the very first fragrance I spoke to you about today, from TOUS. This is TOUS Man Sport. Here with this one, it's currently selling for 100 ml for 26 bucks. So you're basically looking at about 26 cents per milliliter. And this one is a very fresh and bright, fizzy kind of a fragrance. So it has aldehydes in the notes. So aldehydes can come off a bit like aquatic, but they're not quite. And it's very aldehydic fizzy. So it's sparkliness, the fizziness, just really like happy. Aldehydes as a scent profile make me very happy. And this is a very bright, citrusy, aldehydic kind of a fragrance. It's sport. I guess I can see why they were calling it sport. They were kind of appeal to sporty people. But just imagine like you've opened up like an orange soda. The aldehydes act fizzy, as I said, and the oranges in here give that aldehydic touch, like an orange soda effect. It's a very fun, happy, uplifting, playful kind of a scent. And again, I guess that's why it's called sport, because it gives you this kind of like energetic activity where you want to go out and, you know, be active or something like that. I'm not sure that's really true. When I actually wear aldehydes, that's the kind of like vibe I get. It's just a very uplifting kind of a vibe. Anyway, TOUS Man Sport, a great scent, 26 bucks and 100 ml bottle. This is probably one of the cheapest fragrances out there. It's 100 ml for about 15 bucks. People say they found them for about 12 bucks for 100 ml. I mean, you can see them at places like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Ross, and places like that. So there's very inexpensive prices for this. And I feel like it's also one of the best cheapies. Like, for me, it doesn't match something like Bentley for Men Intense, but as far as the quality of the creation, it's fantastic. This is Nautica Voyage, 100 ml for 15 bucks, which means it's about 15 cents per milliliter. So that's really inexpensive. And this one is a very fresh aquatic fragrance, but in the end, it's very crisp. It's crispy with lots of crispy notes, almost like a cross between a cucumbers and apples. Very, very crisp and crunchy, juicy apple. So it's very fresh, fruity, aquatic. It doesn't smell like the sea or marine, but it has these watery vibes, and I feel like they're using like the inside of a cucumber where when you smell that, it's very watery. That's what you're smelling here, and that's kind of a aquatic, watery touch in here. It's very fresh and refreshing for the summertime, I feel like. And you know, it also makes a great fragrance to wear all year round if you just like to wear fresh fragrances. So that's Nautica Voyage, 100 ml, 15 bucks, a great, great price. This next one and the last one from the house of LALIQUE is White. And White is actually a spicy, peppery, petitgrain and tamarind fragrance. So there's lots of black pepper in here, and there's also tamarind, which is kind of like a tart, it's like a pod, a bean kind of a note, so it's a tartness. And then of course the petitgrain is also a bitter, woody, earthy, citrus leaf note. So in the end you're working with some very, very unique notes that are fresh, refreshing, spicy, woody. But in the end, it's actually, like for me, it wears like a skin scent. It's very close to the skin. It doesn't jump off, so it kind of works like a perfect work scent. It's not a very loud fragrance. People have to get closer to you to smell you. But be careful, don't overspray, because it'll increase the intensity and people might be sensitive. But in the end, it's a great scent. I feel like this particular fragrance probably is unisex enough for women to wear, but it definitely leans masculine. Anyway, that's LALIQUE White. It's a great price, $24 for 125 ml. I forgot to tell you the price. So in the end, it works out to be about 20 cents per milliliter. So it's a great, great price. So this next fragrance is another fragrance that's going to be in my upcoming haul video. But this is a fragrance somebody had suggested to me on Instagram, and I forgot your name. I'm so sorry. But this is a house called Provence, number 63, 100 ml bottle, 26 bucks. So in the end, you're looking at about 26 cents per milliliter. What is this one all about? They told me that it reminded them of Spice Bomb and Hanamori Him, and I see that. It's totally similar to those two fragrances, but I also get something like Burberry London. So it's a great tobacco. I think it's a very, very spicy, aromatic, slightly fruity tobacco. It features amber, it features black pepper, or maybe pink pepper, because it was hard to figure out what the notes were on this one. I had to do some digging around online. So there's a plum note according to the notes. It's either peppers of pink pepper or black pepper. There's plum in the notes and lots of tobacco. So I feel like it's a great scent, solid for that price. And I found it at Amazon for, as I said, just under 26 bucks. So it makes for a great scent if you like those two fragrances or three fragrances like Spice Bomb and Hanamori Him and Burberry London, then you definitely should check this one out. This is Provence number 63, and I'll have a link in the info box, and you can check that out there. And then last but not least, I'm going with this fragrance. This is from a house called FRANCK Olivier, and this is Sunrise Vetiver. This is a great scent. A wonderful, wonderful scent with combination of juicy citruses with this earthy vetiver. And again, this one actually acts like soda to me. It has a slight fizziness about the fragrance that I really, really like. And again, the earthy vetiver matched with loads of citruses. Just a very, very bright, uplifting, happy fragrance. It's a very summery fragrance, but you can wear it all year round because, you know, in the end, it has lots of citruses, but it has a little bit of a depth with that vetiver note. And this is going to wrap up today's video with this particular fragrance. It's 75 ml for 18 bucks currently online at FragranceNet. So that works out to be about 26 cents per mil for an awesome, awesome scent. And even though I feel like this might be actually unisex targeted. I'm not sure if it's for male targeted, but I could be wrong. So either way, I feel like both men and women should be able to pull this one off because in the end, it's citruses with vetiver. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts today for these fragrances. Just wanted to give you an idea of some of my least expensive fragrances and how much they're currently selling for online and what their per mil price is. Did you like this particular concept? Let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out, and also let me know if you're a fan of these fragrances, and let me know some suggestions of inexpensive quality fragrances that smell great and also you know, work great as well from quality houses. I'm curious always to learn about new fragrances that I can speak to some folks about. Stay tuned next Saturday for my expensive version of this video. I know you guys are going to get upset because there's going to be some very, very expensive fragrances over $1,500. So stay tuned for that. I'll put that video together. And one more thing I want to mention, if you guys haven't checked out my t-shirts yet, I'm going to keep mentioning them. They are currently available, and right now the two that I have are my Ambergris Alert t-shirt here. This is it with the ambergris and the whale. And the whale is basically pooping right there. So it's a fun little t-shirt, and it's all about you know, ambergris. If you don't know what ambergris is, I do have videos on the channel about ambergris. You can find out. Ambergris basically is what the whales leave behind. And basically it's collected, washed ashore, and then used in perfumery. And then the very first t-shirt I also did was Forever Vetiver, and this is for the vetiver lover. And vetiver is a great note. We spoke about vetiver in this video today, but I have loads of videos on the channel about vetiver. You can go and search around. And if you're curious for more t-shirts, you can click to my Teespring shop, and there you can see loads of t-shirts, various different concepts on fougères, patchouli, you know, all kinds of notes. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.